Is brought to you by Terry County Tractor.
Early voting continues this week, and right now voters are taking up Proposition 1. Its supporters say it protects the right to farm in Texas. Some agricultural organizations say this constitutional amendment would greatly benefit small farmers and ranchers, while others feel it could harm them. KCBD News Channel 11's Patricia Perry joins us now to explain Proposition 1 and why one farmer says he can't support it in its current form. Patricia?
Brittany, Proposition 1 aims to protect farmers and ranchers from municipal regulations when a city grows and annexes their land into its jurisdiction. Melissa Hamilton with the Texas and Southwestern Cattle Raisers Association says it's about understanding Texas is growing and preparing for the future.
So this is about just understanding the importance of agriculture in our state and trying to make sure that there's a source of food, clothing, and shelter for now and years to come.
Hamilton says as Texas grows, that's more people that need the food and fiber Texas agriculture provides. But the cities expand, making that harder to do.
While there are more mouths to feed, more people to shelter, right? There's less and less land to do that.
The Texas Farm Bureau president, Russell Baining, says land is annexed into the city limits years before it's developed. And until that happens, he says land can still be productive.
It's going to be developed eventually, but it's important that he continue to be there. And because you can't just pick up and move your operation. It is difficult.
Baining says Proposition 1 would allow that by stopping municipal regulations being passed on to the farmer.
When they pass an ordinance, it needs to be backed by a threat to public health or public safety.
Doug Haveman with the Texas and Farm Ranch Freedom Alliance says it would immediately fix these problems farmers like himself are dealing with, but
what it doesn't do is limit the factory farms and the multinational farms from getting the same benefits.
When these factory farms move in, Haveman says it brings problems like degrading property values and could cause runoff onto neighboring small farms and ranches.
I really think our legislators need to rewrite this and make it right for Texas farms and ranches and exclude those factory farms from this piece.
Hamilton says Proposition 1 does include agriculture operations of any size, but if it becomes a problem, the constitutional amendment leaves room for change.
The legislature can still legislate and agencies can still regulate when it's for public health and safety. And also conservation in the environment.
We took what Hamilton said back to Haveman, and he told us the operations he's talking about use generally accepted practices that would fall under the protection. He adds if Proposition 1 passes, local governments will lose almost all authority to regulate them, and neighboring small farms will be left to take on these factory farms alone. Early voting continues until November 3rd, and Election Day is November 7th. That's all for this week's Focus on Ag. I'm Patricia Perry.